I am NetMoverSitan. And yes, I'm working on the underground village. Expanding around the large waterfall feature that takes me down here. Oh yes, and I've just completed Oddworld New and Tasty. 100% on hard. Yeah, hard difficulty. In fact, difficulty levels weren't in the original Abe's Odyssey. There are a few comparisons between the original and that version of the game in there, just to warn you, if you want to pay attention to it once it's uploaded. Ah yes, and might, yeah, I'm considering playing Slime Rancher at some point. Something a little unusual. A sandbox game where the life forms are about as cute and non-threatening as those in a Kirby game. Although it's a little more complicated than that, based on what I know of it. And it's even being updated periodically. Meanwhile, I have the long journey home, the second run to do. I'll call that the first parallel, because it's a parallel universe to the one that the first run is set in, so things will be a bit different. For a start, different ship, different lander, different seed code. Well, it would give me an unfair advantage if I had prior knowledge to what I was dealing with. It would also make things a little bit more boring, wouldn't it? Well, I could do Serious Sam the Second Encounter, but that's... I think it's a bit too soon for me to start that. Although I do intend on playing it at some point. Oh yes, and Soul Blight. Now that is an interesting shift of formula as far as RPGs are concerned. Where in most you have experience points, which you gather until you increase in level and become stronger. That's pretty much the basic formula for most of them. Most famously, Final Fantasy. Although Undertale, that's one where gaining XP and leveling up is a bad thing. where it's a good thing not to gain it. Soul Blight is quite a bit different even to that, because instead of experience and levelling up, you choose a specific taint. Which has its bonuses, not to mention penalties. Now the Steam description says lust, gluttony, and cannibalism. Yeah. Gluttony, I'm guessing you get a bonus for eating more food than you need. You get a penalty if you haven't eaten for a large amount of time. Lust, I'm guessing that has something to do with opponents, which are the opposite gender to you. Yeah. And cannibalism, I'm guessing that allows you to feast on the slain enemies, while reducing the amount of health gain from eating food that isn't your own species. Apparently there's also being superstitious, which makes trapped chests problematic, and there appears to be trapped chests. Although you get a buff if you kiss a lucky charm. Yeah. Superstition, also known as the religion of fools. And paranoia, where you get a buff for sneaking in the shadows. Well, a debuff if you don't sneak in the shadows. Can't remember the rest of it, although it seems to favour being a sneaky character. Although fierce, I think that would benefit more or less any situation, because, well, whether you want to or not, you're going to go into combat and get yourself wounded, and there's a bonus for getting wounded and a permanent passive boost for each one killed in that state. Yeah. Basically you get a lot of taints on the way. Well, a taint each time you get somewhere. And you have to work your strategy based on what you get. From what I've gathered, with this top-down RPG, your character is a blank slate. A blank slate that gets filled in as you progress. Honestly, another daycare centre. I'd say they're being quite kind. Well, let's hope he doesn't crash into a pile of manure. Because that would be rather ironic moment, and would probably make the writer of Back to the Future a very happy man. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, Soul Blight. I'll be watching out for that one. Oh yes, and of course, being another tainter, I thought, hang on, are they really putting this in it? Basically, if you eat hard to digest food, you gain the ability to emit deadly gastric emissions. Yeah, that's right. Gas that comes out of your rear. Why? Yeah, I'm starting to think that whoever said that some people are easily amused by jokes about that have very simple tastes. Can't so blame them. Basically, in battle, these gastric emissions decrease enemy defense. Possibly because they are distracted by the bad smell around them, created by their opponents. I hope that wasn't some kind of joke, because I'm not laughing. I'm about as amused as Queen Victoria after... Sorry. I'm amused as Queen Victoria after being told what she could and couldn't do. And we know, well, some of us anyway, know that rather infamous line. A line which pretty much sums her up nicely. And I use the term nice as generous. Well, generously, if you want to be more accurate. Oh yeah, in Poland, having quite a few indie developers. Well, 2 of them anyway. I mean, well, 2 that have attracted my attention. Let's see, there's Super Hot, and also Soul Blight. Yeah, I think that one's Polish as well. If not, I'll probably put a note in the description. With a correction to that. And those of you who are new to this channel, who believe me to be some madman in a bunny mask, I don't take offence to that at all. Because that's exactly what I am. I have good reasons for keeping it on. Because there are some people that might want to look me up, and I choose not to be found. So if you're looking for me on Facebook and haven't found me, don't waste your time. Because I'm not on Facebook. Yeah, that's a surprise, isn't it? And it's not just because of the risk of identity theft. Yeah. All it can take is going through social media, looking through a few personal details based on pictures, or even on the profile, including the number of your bank card, and then you'll find yourself with a huge debt, and you're wondering where it's come from. Yeah, it's about time we put some doors around here. Yeah, best put this here. Oh yes. Must put a sign there saying beware. Mine shaft. Do not enter. Or something along those lines. Oh yeah. And I've also put a bit more in regards to lighting. Although, I might change that once I get around to creating a fountain. Actually, no, forget that. A fountain be a bit unnecessary. Perhaps some trees. Have some greenery around here. Got any ideas of what I should put in here? And no, I'm not going to put any iron golems here yet. Mostly because the underground village is not done yet. When it's ready, then I will. No, perhaps not. I think I know what's nearby. Yeah, thought as much. And look, there's a spider. Time for a little target practice. Ooh, I like this though. Sorry, went a bit crazy there. Well, more than usual. Yeah, I'm gonna have to build outwards to create the bedroom. Yeah, I want as few monsters spawning in here as possible. Giant spiders, creepers, undead that are vulnerable to sunlight. Yeah, you name it. Keeping an area well lit keeps them out. Well, it's more likely to keep them out anyway. Yeah, I might do a little more on this. Yeah, I'd best do that. I've been a little behind lately. And some of you want me to fight the Ender Dragon. And no, I'm not going to put Sons of Skyrim on while I am fighting it. For a start, it might get my video flagged. And I'd rather not put that to the test. Because this isn't the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Besides, I've already completed that. And that was a long one. Longer even than Fallout 3. Those are the ones that can take up much of a playlist, and can even require 2 of them, because 1 won't be enough. Although that was before I, well, had the ability to create, well, before I had the capability of uploading more than 15 minutes at a time. Now, I prefer to have it on average 30 minutes, although it does depend on the game. In the case of the long journey home, I prefer to have it around 45 minutes. About the same length as an episode of some kind of sci-fi series. Yeah. We Happy Few. Definitely not playing that one. For one reason, among others. that developer sold out. And was being spoon-fed on the poison that has quietly eroded the gaming industry. I mean, the publisher is the same one that brought us Aliens, Colonial Marines, and Duke Nukem Forever. And we know how they went. False advertising, and ultimately they didn't deliver. Never mind stand and be held accountable for their actions. Yeah, thought I'd complete the safety rail to stop the iron golems from falling off. Yeah, it's about time I complete something larger. Still haven't made a start on the arena. Ooh, I've had this good idea. How about when I do summon the Wither, I have a pressure pad which, when I get around to backing away from the Wither, ooh, slime, burn! And now you can burn as well! How dare you appear in the underground village? Ooh, now that's painfully ironic, based on what I just said earlier. Yeah. Have the pressure pad trigger a load of repeating dispensers where it's designed to go in a loop. Either until the Wither destroys it, or... well, let's just say there'll be a lot of arrows firing at the Wither. I took a little inspiration from 300, and unlike the Spartans, the Wither... actually, I'll stop there, as it might be a spoiler for 300, which is loosely based on the Battle of Thermopylae. Yeah, I don't know if I've got the pronunciation right. Yeah, that's at least based on truth. Although they did make one or two things up, which angered Iran. Because for a start, Xerxes had a beard. Yeah, I can understand them for being angry about that. I mean, that'd be like depicting Henry VIII as a blood-soaked madman. Well, in battle, I think we could probably let them go on that one, but outside of battle, yeah, not that realistic, or rather historically accurate. Although homicidal rage, there is some truth in that. Mostly due to a jousting injury which caused some injury to his brain. Which explains some of his behaviour after that happened. An injury which resulted in him being, well, changing from athletic and nice to be around to fat, bloated, and a ticking time bomb. The kind of person you would not want to get on the bad side of. And it didn't take much for anyone to get on the bad side of him. In fact, Anne of Cleves didn't match her portrait. And she was one of the wives that got off lightly. Some of those who displeased him, and this includes some of his male favourites, they ended up losing their heads. And forgive me if I've bored you to death. What I talk about here is completely unscripted. As in, even I won't know what I'm talking about in this. And if I don't know, how can you? Yeah, disturbing, isn't it? Until next time. Hail the rabbit!